This is an upper body strength session that is gentle enough to be used throughout your cycle, and with the right weight selection can provide that significant challenge that you might be looking for, specifically in the follicular and ovulatory phases. This workout is part of the comeback series. So this is the workout to use as your first one when you're coming back from, say, an extended period off, whether it's from travel, maybe you were healing from an injury, or maybe there were just life circumstances that meant that you took a step back from working out. Maybe you are new to strength training, and so this is your way of easing into the practice. So this one, I want you to take it slow and steady. I want you to choose weights that allow you to feel the resistance in your body, but that aren't going to be so heavy that you find that real struggle at the end of each set. I want you to walk away feeling like you have more energy than when you started. This is the replenishing quality that we need, especially when we're coming back into a practice or when we're starting the practice from scratch. We want this to feel sustainable, like something that you're excited to come back to tomorrow, not something that depletes you so much that you have now more excuses not to show up. We want to remove some of those obstacles and make it easier to show up for the practice. Today's workout is a prescribed rep scheme, so we're not using timed intervals. That means your pace might be very different from mine, and that is okay. If you're working faster or slower, you can stick with me for the first set and then complete the remaining sets on your own. You can then use the timestamps in the video description to jump ahead to the next set when you're ready. You can also use that to navigate from your warm-up to the workout and then to your cool down at the end. We are doing a traditional superset workout today where we're using 2 exercises. So these exercise pairs, we're completing 3 rounds of each one before moving on to the next. Your 3 rounds will have 10 reps of each exercise. So very simple, very straightforward. We're using basic movement patterns, a lot of isolation work for the upper body. This should feel really good. I want you to walk away feeling energized, feeling like you're standing a little bit taller, like maybe you have more enthusiasm for the rest of your day when you are done. So we'll bookend the practice with a 5-minute warm-up and a 5-minute cool down. I encourage you to keep these elements as part of your practice. The whole workout comes in under 40 minutes, should still feel pretty short and sweet, something you can squeeze into almost any busy day. So now let's get started. Welcome to your upper body warm-up. We are going to get started. We have 10 exercises. We're completing each one of these for 30 seconds just to warm up all the major joints in the upper body. Take a big breath in, reach up. And as you exhale, side bend to one side. Feel that nice stretch across the rib cage and switch. Just side to side here for the first 30 seconds. See if you can create a little bit more space by sending the top arm back behind you. So really lengthening both sides of the waist, really elongating the spine here, waking things up, warming things up. Be here just a few more seconds. And then we'll come through center, interlace your fingers behind you. Stretch your arms straight and strong, stretch across the chest. Lift the hip bones up toward the low ribs, and then circle the head from one side to the other. Switching directions, just kind of exploring that space in the neck and shoulders, making sure that we're not opening with any tension here. Last few seconds. Then we're going to inhale, reach the arms up, lat pull. So as you exhale, take your elbows behind you, feel that squeeze, and reach up. You can take this nice and slow. We're just looking to explore the full range of motion in the shoulder and create some of that tone in the back body here. So we inhale, reach, and exhale, squeeze the elbows behind you. Again, we're just looking to wake up all of these structures in the upper body. Next one, we're going to inhale, reach up, and as you exhale, twist to one side. Press the palms away, come through center. As you twist, make sure you're aiming to keep the hips pointing forward so that we're really freeing the upper spine here. We're allowing the rib cage to move separate from the hips. Big breath in and exhale. We're going to shift to the back of the mat now, finishing out your twist, coming into an inchworm. So nice and simple here. We're going to reach overhead, big breath. And then as you exhale, take your hands to the floor, walk it out just to a plank. And then walk your hands back toward your feet. Reverse the direction all the way up. So just exploring now a little bit of weight bearing on the hands. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Find that strong plank in the center and come up. Last one like this, we're going to hold that plank and touch the knees down. Come into a tabletop. Nice and easy cat-cow here. So as you inhale, stretch the sitting bones back, ripple up the spine, lift the head. And then as you exhale from the tailbone, round under, coil the belly in and up, chin to chest. Inhale, open, stretch the spine, shine the sitting bones back. And exhale, round it in. Try to use the full length of each breath here. Big inhale and exhale. Last one there. Now take your right hand behind your head. As you inhale, open the elbow nice and wide. And then exhale, take it to your left wrist or wrap it under. So inhale, open, and exhale, round in. So I want you to think about keeping your hips and legs stable and square through this entire range of motion. So again, we're really looking to articulate that upper spine. And switch. Right hand comes down, left hand behind the head. Inhale, open, press your head into your hands, and then round it under. Find your breath rhythm here. Inhale and exhale. We're aiming to keep the hips directly over the knees. Those hips nice and square. And just feel that space that you create in the upper back here. Last one, big breath. And then we'll slowly open, unfold to downward dog. So stretch the legs up and back. Don't worry too much about the legs being straight here. Maybe pedal out the feet a bit. And then as you inhale, hover the knees, come into bear plank. Find that straight spine. Exhale, send the hips up and back. Soften the heart, belly, chest toward the thighs. Inhale, come forward, bear plank, hover the knees. And exhale. So here we're just waking up the core, rolling forward. And our final posture for this warm-up, coming into a plank hold. So you can keep the knees up if that feels good. Otherwise, you're bringing the knees down. Just make sure that your hips are forward of the knees if you're in that half plank position. I want you to refine this pose. Really hug the heels of the hands and the ball mounds of the feet together like you're trying to create a ripple in the mat. Curl your pubic bone up toward your navel. Keep the neck nice and long, shoulders relaxed. Last one here. And slowly walk your feet to your hands. And then bone by bone, we'll roll all the way up to standing. Let's enjoy a huge breath together. Inhale. And exhale, sigh it out. Hopefully you're starting to feel just that little bit of heat, maybe a little bit of movement in the upper body. And we are ready now to get into our strength training. We are ready to begin our upper body workout for today. We are using dumbbells in this workout, but remember, this is your comeback series. So this is something that is helping you ease back into the rhythm of daily practice, of daily workouts. So you want to go heavy. You want to feel the resistance in the upper body, but you don't want it to be excessive. So I have 2 sets of weights so that I can kind of dial that precision in a little bit more. If you only have 1 set of weights at home, that's okay. What I want you to focus on is mind-muscle connection, really recruiting the muscle fibers to fire by moving slowly, intentionally, and focusing on that muscle activation. So I have a set of 20 pounds and 15s. If you are easing back in after some time away, or maybe you are new to a strength training practice, you might be using 5s and 10s. You might be using just a set of 3-pound dumbbells just to create a little bit of resistance here in the beginning. So use the weight that's appropriate for you. Today, again, we're just easing in with our first upper body workout. So we want to feel it working, but we don't want it to be so intense that we can't come back strong tomorrow. We have 3 sets of work. Each one has 2 exercises. We're going to complete each set in 3 rounds of 10 reps for each exercise. This is a prescribed rep scheme. We don't have timed intervals, so it's okay if you're moving a little bit faster, maybe a little bit slower than I am. You can always stick with me for that first set and then complete the remaining 2 on your own. Use the timestamps then in the description of the video to skip to the next set when you are ready. I really want you to go at your own pace for this workout. workout. So we are starting on the floor. We're in a supine position on your back. We're going to start with a floor press, nice and easy. We're just taking the weight out to each side and pressing it up. We have 3 sets of 10. Then we're going to drop to a single dumbbell, and it's going to be a skull crusher for the triceps. I'll give you some form cues as we move along. For now, you can lower onto your back, hug your heels close to your sitting bones, give a little curl of the tail under so you have the pubic bone drawing up toward the navel. I want the neck to be nice and relaxed. We're going to take that weight over the center of the chest, right over the nipple line, and you've got that lower belly hugging in. As you inhale, you're going to take the weight down as far as it'll go. I want you to lift the upper back slightly off the mat and then squeeze to the center. That's 1. As you inhale, come down. Exhale, squeeze. That's 2. We've got just 10 reps here. I want you to take them nice and slow. So see if you can restrict the speed, the pace on the way down, and then power up. Squeeze those weights together. You want to feel the stretch across the chest and then contract into that space that you create. That's 7. Here's 8. Try not to be rushed here. Really take your time. And 10. We're going to drop one weight down to the side. And then you'll take the other dumbbell in each hand, so the heads of the dumbbell in each hand. The weight is directly over the chest here. I want you to keep the arms parallel, bend at the elbows only. So upper arm stays stable. You can bring that bar toward the head and then squeeze it up. So that's 1. Again, keep curling the pubic bone up toward the navel. That's 2. And you want to keep those arms parallel. So as you get tired, or if the weight's a little bit too heavy, your elbows are going to want to splay out. If that starts happening, you can drop down the weight. You could even use 2 lighter weights in each hand. Really want you to fix the position of the upper arm. So don't let it move forward and back. The only movement is happening at the joint, at the elbow joint there. This is an isolation exercise. There's 7. We've got 3 more for me. Keep count of your own reps. Again, we're getting 3 sets of 10. If it's a little bit too easy for you, you can increase that rep range up to 12. Last one here. And rest. So in between, we can take a little bit of a posture break, come up, shake out your shoulders, give it a little breather, and then we'll come right back in. So we're staying kind of in that lower range of intensity, not getting up too high in today's workout. Again, we're wanting to ease back in to the pace and intensity of movement here. So we'll take that weight over the nipple line, get ready, and let's begin. Take it down, inhale, and squeeze up. Inhale, let your breath make some sound as it comes out through pursed lips. That's going to help you create some tone in the low belly. And stay present for the work. The more that you can pay attention to signals and cues from your body, the more that you're keeping your mind and body connected with what's happening. We're not letting the mind wander today. Here's 8. That's 9. And last one, 10. Again, we're going to drop one weight down beside us. You can take the heads of the dumbbell, one in each hand. Again, curl the low belly in by lifting the pubic bone toward the navel. And let's begin. Fix the position of the upper arms, and we bend at the elbow. Again, you're bringing that bar right over the head, so take extra care. You're in control of the weight. Don't let it carry your arms down. You want to feel that resistance, that steady control, all the way down and all the way up. Quality reps here. So even if it's not your most intense workout, I want you to focus on high quality reps. You're getting that full contraction and extension. So flexion of the elbow and then extending it all the way. Last 2 for me. Finish out your set. and slowly come up. Again, just a little bit of a posture break in between. Maybe give your spine a little bit of a twist, stretch out the chest, maybe the triceps crossing the body here. And then we'll come in for our third and final set before we switch it up. So you can lower onto your back, hug the heels in. Weight comes directly over the center of the chest. And let's get our 10 reps. Here we go. Inhale and exhale. Find that rhythm. Let this become a moving meditation. So I'll pause the instruction here for a little bit so that you can just hear the sound of your breath and really tune in. Part of this practice is that internal observation, really connecting to what's happening in your body. So give yourself space for that today. Skull crusher is next. Parallel the arms. Let's begin. 10 reps. This is our final set. You should feel a little bit of heat in the triceps, the backs of the arms here. But don't let that create urgency and try not to speed through any of these reps. Stay focused, stay in control. These are fairly quick workouts, but we don't want to feel that rush through them. We want to take our time and find quality reps. And there I felt it, my elbows wanting to press out. So it's a reset, refocus, and keep that form steady and strong through the entire set. Come up when you're ready after you finish out that set. You can set those heavier weights off to the side if you have 2 sets of weights. I'm going to switch to my lighter set. Otherwise, we're just moving into our next set of work. So you'll grab your dumbbells. Here we're working with a half push-up and a tripod row. So you can use the dumbbells for your push-up if that feels good, if you want a little bit more elevation, that gives you more range of motion, or you can take your hands on the floor. Either way is fine. We are doing the half push-up, so knees are down. I want you to drop the hips in front of the knees so that we're in a half plank position. Shoulders are directly over the wrists. You've got a slight angle in the position of your hands so that when we come down, we're taking the elbows slightly out to the side, making an A-frame shape with the upper arms. Rather than a T, we want to bring those elbows slightly out and back. Coil up through the belly, lift the pubic bone toward the navel, stretch the heart forward. Let's get 10 push-ups. Here we go. Down, chest to the floor, and squeeze. So it's just like the chest press where we feel that stretch across the chest, and then we squeeze. Imagine like you're trying to hug the thumbs together. Just 10 reps here. Find your inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up. Be mindful here. Watch out for shrugging in the shoulders. You want those shoulders to stay relaxed away from the ears. We've got 2 more. Finish out your 10. Make sure they're solid from start to finish. So if you start to feel a little bit of that wriggling in and out of your push-up, I want you to pause, reset, shake out the wrists, and then come back in. Our next exercise, we're pairing that push-up with a tripod row. So you're going to parallel the weights now. Again, shoulders stay over the wrists, but in this case, we're bringing the hips over the knees as well. So we're in tabletop. I want you to create that tone in the low belly, close the gap between hip points and low ribs, stretch your heart forward. We're simply going to bring one elbow toward the hip, opposite leg extends. So it's a tripod row. Make sure again that you're not shrugging in the shoulders. You're keeping the shoulders relaxed and you're taking that elbow straight back. If it's too much to add the leg extension, just work with the tabletop row for today. That can be your entry point. Let's get 10 reps. We're doing 10 reps each side. So we'll count both reps together as one. So we have 1 and 1. Here's 2 and 2. So what you're aiming for is keeping shoulders and hips square the entire way through, not letting the lower back arch. So you're not worried too much about how high your leg is going. worried more about the integration. This is a total body exercise with a focus on that back row. Here's 8 and 8. Finish it out. Last 2. And stretch it out. So take your time, maybe roll out the shoulders here, get a little bit of a stretch. This is a lot of weight bearing on the hands back to back. So you might roll out your wrists, maybe give a little bit of a stretch here, shake it out so that you're ready when you come back in. I'm going to demonstrate the next set with my hands on the floor just so that you can see that. We're coming into our half push-up again. So we drop the hips forward of the knees. We stretch the heart forward. You've got your shoulders over the wrists. And again, your elbows coming out slightly out to the side and back so that we've got that A shape with the upper arms. Belly is strong. Here we go. 10 reps. Chest to the floor and up. If that full range of motion is too much, again, you're finding that wiggling in and out, you can take a lesser range of motion. So maybe just come halfway down and then back up. Taking breaks as you need to. You can break up the 10 reps into smaller sets if you need. That's 10 reps for me. Finish out your 10 reps wherever you are. Shake out the wrists. Push-ups are one of those exercises that will continue to deliver a strong challenge no matter how long you've been practicing. I've been doing these for years, and about a year ago just started putting my knees down from the beginning. I want to focus on the chest and take any sensation out of the lower back. That works for my body. So I want you to find what works for you. Don't feel pressured to lift your knees up. You can keep the knees down and still get so much work for the chest, for the core from this movement pattern. So we're going to come into our tabletop next. Again, we have our tripod row. If you feel this at all in the lower back or it's creating instability, you can take out that leg extension and just focus on the upper body part of the pattern. Here we go. Lift it back and down. Again, keeping those shoulders and hips perfectly square throughout the range of motion. That's 2 on each side and 3. Take your time. Make sure you're returning the knees to that position directly under the hips each time. There's 6. So again, you're doing 10 reps on each side. 20 reps total since this is a single-sided exercise. But again, taking your time. Last one. And rest. Shake it out. Roll out your shoulders. Really give the wrists some love here. So you might just roll them around with the fingers interlaced. Create some circulation. Release any tension that you might have there. And then we'll come back to our third and final set of push-ups. Let your breath rate come down. Really make sure that you're ready to come into this final set. We'll bring the hands into position here. Again, knees are down, and then we drop into that half plank position. We want to make sure that we're not trying to do these push-ups from a tabletop. That won't allow us to create the isolation in the chest. So come forward, 10 reps. Here we go. Down and up. Make sure the body is moving as a unit. Spine comes down together and lifts together. You got this. You can do these hard things. Find your power, dig a little deeper, tap into that source of strength from the inside out. Make sure the back of your neck is long, not shrugging those shoulders. Last rep here. Take your time, rest as you need to. Again, you might be breaking them up into sets of 2, sets of 3, whatever you can do to keep your form and maintain that integrity throughout the movement pattern. Let's come into our tabletop stance. This is our final exercise of this set, and then just one more set to go. Tone the belly, stretch the spine. So I want you to really think about stretching from the crown of the head through the tail the entire time. Here we go. Let's get 20 reps total, 10 reps each side. Keep that belly strong, hips and shoulders square. Again, I'll let you drop into the rhythm of your own breath here, pausing the instruction for a few moments. Find that rhythm. Finish strong. I've got 2 more. Where are you in your final set? Excellent work. Take your time finishing it out. We're going to keep those weights for the next pair of exercises. I want you to take your time as you come up to standing. Roll out the shoulders a little bit, shake out the wrists. We have one final set of work. Again, just 2 exercises. This time we're doing a straight biceps curl and a shoulder press. So biceps curl, your palms are going to be facing out. We've got a micro bend in the knees. We're toning the belly. We're fixing the position of the upper arm. Again, so we want to glue the elbows into your sides. We're going to squeeze. I want you to imagine you're trying to touch the bar of that dumbbell to your shoulder. That's how much you're squeezing in the biceps curl. Then for your shoulder press, we're taking the weight overhead. So we want to maintain the integrity of the spine. So I want you to lift up out of the hips, curl the sitting bones just slightly toward the knees, lift up through the lower belly, and soften the shoulders. Here, you can have your arms in more of a military press with the shoulders out, the elbows out, and you squeeze up. Otherwise, you can have more of a neutral grip and work your shoulder press here. If the weight gets to be too much, you can always alternate sides. Take breaks as you need to, pause when you need to. Again, we're just working 3 sets of 10, however you can complete that work today. So I'll grab my weight. We'll get into position for our final pair of exercises. So palms are facing out. You've got that micro bend in the knees. Hug the elbows into your sides. I want you to feel that nice open chest. Let's begin. Squeeze and come down. Just 10 reps here. Try not to let the weight swing. You want to stay in control the whole way down and the whole way up. Make sure you're getting that full extension, fully straightening the arm on the way down, and then squeezing on the way up. Again, we don't want to swing that weight up into position. We want to isolate the work in the biceps and feel that squeeze. You might be hitting a little bit of that fatigue by that 10th rep. If you hit somewhere around 8 to 10 reps and you can no longer perform those quality reps, you can always drop down in your weight. Next up, we've got our shoulder press. So we're bracing the belly. We've got that strong starting position. We take it overhead and back down. If you can, try to keep the arms slightly behind your ears at the top. We really want to explore that range of motion in the shoulder, create more space across the chest. You got this. Breathe as you push up. Keep track of your own reps here. And keep that integrity in the spine. So we're not arching the lower back. We're keeping the lower belly engaged. You can set those weights down when you're done. Take a little bit of a rest. So what I want you to avoid when you take the weight overhead is this action. I want you to keep that low belly drawing in and up so that we're letting the shoulders do the work. We're not compensating with any mobility in the lower back. Take a few breaths here, and then we'll come into our second set of biceps curls. So feet are parallel, micro bend in the knees. Let's begin. Fix the position of your elbows so the elbows stay nice and still the entire time. You're just squeezing the biceps and straightening the arms all the way. Don't sell yourself short. Get that full range of motion. We got this. If you need to, if the weight gets a little bit heavy, you can come into more of that hammer curl position where the palms are facing in. That'll take a little bit of the tension off. I find that was needed in that set. For the biceps, you can set the weights down for a moment before you switch to your shoulder press or move right into it, whatever feels most appropriate in your body. Let's grab those weights. Come into your shoulder press position, just 10 reps. Here we go. Draw the belly in. Press it overhead. Just 10 reps here. Keep that belly strong. Pressing it overhead. Such a fundamental movement pattern for your upper body strength. And rest. Be mindful when you set the weights down that you're not letting them drag you. You're not dropping the weights. You're taking your time. Roll out the shoulders a little bit. We have just one more set of work and then your cool down of weights. So when you're ready, come into position. Final set of biceps curls here. Let's get 10 reps. Here we go. Squeeze and lower down. Again, if you need to, if you find that you're having to swing the weights up or you're starting to bring a little bit of the lower back into it, you can always switch to that hammer curl. I'm going to do that about halfway through. So switching the grip just to target a little bit less tension on the biceps here. You can also switch to single-sided reps, but still aiming for 8 to 10 on both sides. I'm going to set the weight down in between. You can move right to your shoulder press if you wish, or shake it out just a little bit. And then we'll finish this set strong. Grab your weight. Come into position, just 10 shoulder presses. Here we go. There's 2. Breathe in and out. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Keep that spine engaged, lower belly engaged. Last few reps, finish them strong. And slowly release. When you are done, if you're still working, finish it out. Take your time and roll out the shoulders. We are going to move into our cool down next. But again, take as much time as you need to finish out your set strong. And then you can use the timestamps to jump around. But I will see you for your cool down next. You have just completed your upper body strength session, and now it is time to cool down. We're going to start our cool down in a downward facing dog. So you can start to walk your hands onto the mat, unfold, take your feet back. Just pedal out the feet a little bit. I want you to press your fingertips down and forward. And then soften heart, belly, chest toward the thighs. Really feel that stretch in the shoulders. Maybe even lift the heels. Parallel the legs, send your sitting bones up and back. And then can you make the head really heavy, softening that heart, belly, chest open. Focusing on the stretch in the spine here, less about the legs for today. And then we'll bring our knees down to a tabletop, coming back to cat and cow, just like we did in our warm-up. So inhale and then exhale, round the spine. Find that full expression, full range of motion here. Inhale, big breath. And exhale, round it in. We'll be here for a few rounds of breath, just kind of slowing the heart rate down, releasing any tension from the spine. So we're coming into a lot of the same movement patterns as our warm-up. Inhale, reach the right arm open, but with a little bit more of that static stretching quality. Thread that right arm under left, spider your left fingertips, really square the hips and stretch through the spine. So lift your hip creases up and back and allow the rib cage to rotate. So feel that freedom in the upper back here, that stretch across the shoulder blades. Breathing nice and easy. And then as you come up, we'll take that right arm now behind, bring your forearm to your lower back, square the shoulders once again, and this time take your left ear toward your left shoulder. Keep hips and shoulders square. Move your chin forward and back, side to side, wherever you need to feel that stretch in the neck and shoulders here. Last big breath. And then we'll switch. Right hand comes down. Inhale, lift your left arm skyward, stretch through the fingertips, and thread that left arm under. Spider your right fingertips here. Lift the hip creases up and back, square the hips, and rotate the upper spine. Soften the belly if you can. Let go of any holding you might have. Relax the shoulders. And then as you unfold, open that left arm up, bring the left forearm to your lower back. Square the hips and shoulders, bring your right ear toward your right shoulder. Again, here you can move the chin forward and back, side to side, so that you feel that stretch, maybe across the jawline even. Last couple of breaths here. And then we'll come into a puppy pose, but this time we're going to let the forearms touch down, press the palms together, and then soften heart, belly, chest toward the floor. Maybe bring the crown of the head to the floor. We're going to create a stretch, not only in the shoulders, but in the triceps here. You might even bring your chin toward the mat. Feel that spinal extension. You might sway your hips side to side. And then we'll come on to the belly. Bring your arms out to a T, right ear to the mat. And then you're going to roll to your right side and let your left toes tap behind you to the right. Keep aiming to anchor the shoulders to the mat. So we're really letting the lower back now twist. You can even bring your chin to the floor to get a little bit more of that rotation in the spine. And then we'll just switch. So you bring your left ear to the mat, roll onto your left side, tap your right toes behind you. Again, just feeling some freedom in the lower back here. Breathing nice and easy. Again, softening the low belly. Feeling the grounding of kind of the shoulders and belly down. And we'll slowly transition through center once again. Come into Sphinx pose. Press your forearms into the mat. Parallel your feet. Stretch your toes back. And then just circle the head nice and easy. One direction and then the other. Really lifting up through the heart. Keep your hips grounded. So we feel that lengthening in both sides of the waist. You might feel a little bit of a stretch in the lower spine as we create length in the psoas, so that hip flexor complex. And then nice and easy, we're going to come up into a tabletop. Press on to hands and knees. Step your feet to your hands. And then in your own way, let your head hang heavy and then slowly roll up bone by bone. Let's inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, big breath. And as you exhale, sigh it out, release. That completes your upper body workout for today. I hope it felt just right, like that perfect reintroduction, that perfect comeback to your exercise routine. Make sure that you are fueling after your workout with high quality protein, a little bit of carbohydrate, and that you're allowing, especially your upper body, enough time to recover before you jump back into those upper body muscle groups. So I want to thank you so much for joining me for this practice, for letting your body be moved.